Hello and welcome to part 2 of my makeup inventory series. Today we're gonna talk about all of my cheek products, that is bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. I have them all in front of me now on the table, and I'm pretty sure this is twice the amount of some people's whole makeup collection. In my bronzer category, I have 7 products at the moment. Only one of them is older than 2023. So I'll start with my oldest product, and that is my Heen Contour Palette. And it's created in a collaboration between the brand and a creator. The creator's name is Natalie Beauty. This is the palette, and it contains 2 powder bronzers and 2 powder highlighters. It arrived to me broken, which is why it looks even more busted than I think it would look like. But it's also quite old. I got it in 2019. I don't remember when exactly, but I have it for quite a while. I think because it's a powder product, I'm not as stressed about using it, but I have been trying to use it up, which is why it looks the way it looks. And while we're talking about this, I will also mention 2 highlighters that I have in it. I will hopefully count them towards my highlighter count. This is one of my favorite highlighters that I have in my collection. It's very shiny. It also inspired me to purchase another one from the brand, which I will show you in a bit. I like this product. It's one of my favorite things. The only thing that is annoying me about it is that it's a face palette. It's not singular products. So it's a bit harder to travel with, to store, and to pick. I feel like if I want to use those bronzers, I kind of am pressured to also use the highlighter. In general, I know that it doesn't exist anymore. It's definitely already discontinued, but I really like it, and it made me curious about the products from the brand. Since I started with powder bronzers, I will continue, and I have 2 more. First one, I have mentioned already in my powders section of my first part of this video. It's a Kaleidos Symphony Contour Trio in the shade Fair, and it contains 2 contoury, cool-toned, grayish bronzer shades. And I have 0 opinions about them because I haven't tried them yet. Another powder bronzer that I have is also a mini palette, and this one is from Natasha Denona. I got this little bronzer and highlighter duo in the Cult Beauty Advent Calendar. I haven't tested them on my cheeks, I believe. I definitely swatched them though, and the one thing that is kind of making me not very enthusiastic about it is how deep the highlighter is. It can't really be a highlighter for me. Well, it's not very dark in general, but it is very dark for me. It's yellow, it's not shiny enough to work being this dark, so I don't think I will be using it. The only way that I could see myself using it is on my body in the summer, maybe potentially mixing it in with a body lotion. But yeah, this is my Natasha Denona Bronze and Glow powder duo. Before last year, my only cream bronzer used to be the Milk Makeup bronzer stick, and now I have 4. I'll start with the most expensive one, and the one that I'm probably going to try to use the most during the next year because it's so expensive, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand in the shade Fair Medium. I got it in December last year, and I already started using it. At first, I was a little unsure because of how cool-toned it was compared to my Milk Makeup bronzer stick, but I definitely figured it out, and I really like it now. I find it easy to use, easy to blend, and in general, I think I understand why people like it. It might not be my favorite one. I'm not sure yet because I haven't used it enough, but I am very happy to have it, and I am enjoying it when I'm using it. Next one I want to mention is one I grabbed in November last year during Black Friday sales, I believe. And that is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Light Medium. I got it on a recommendation from a creator. She said that it gives a very natural skin-like look. I tried it once and I don't think I figured it out yet. I think I put on too much and it became a little cakey. So I definitely need to try it out more. I'm pretty sure I only wore it once. So I need to dedicate some time to it, get to know it, and then I'll have some opinions. My next product is a bronzer stick, and it's the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in the shade Bright Side. I also got it on sale at the end of last year, and I got it after a very long time of wanting to try it. It was on my list for a very long time to be my next bronzer after I run out of my Milk Makeup Stick. As you probably know, it has raving reviews. A lot of people like it. It's a popular product, and that's exactly why I was curious about it. So I got it, and so far I think I do really like it. I like the texture, I like the blendability in general. I think it's a good product, so I'm happy to have it in my collection. And the last product of my bronzer category is a liquid bronzer from the brand Glam Shop in the shade Sandy. I think it's one of the two shades, the lighter of the two shades that they have, and I got it in December of last year when I was visiting Poland. I think the packaging looks a bit busted, and that is because I bought it in store and it had a lot of stickers on it, which I was definitely not a fan of. I really like the formula of this one. It's also the cheapest bronzer that I have. The formula for some reason reminds me of melted chocolate, which just makes the experience more pleasant. Even though there's really nothing about it that's chocolate. It doesn't smell like chocolate. I guess the only thing is the color. I really like it. And if you are looking for a liquid or cream bronzer on an affordable price, I think this one is definitely worth checking out. And those have been all of my bronzers. Now we will move on to blush. This category is a bit bigger than the bronzer category, with 17 products in it. I think I'll start with my powder blushes. I have a bit less of them because I usually prefer cream blushes, and almost all of my powder blushes that I have, I bought quite a while ago. I'll start with my newest one, and that is the Kaleidos blush that I mentioned already before. I think the packaging is absolutely stunning. I love the metal letters of the brand name, and I was definitely amazed when I unpacked it. Something I dislike about this packaging is that it doesn't have anything written on the back. So unless I remember exactly the name of the product, there's no way for me to know it. Thankfully, I have written it down, so I know that it's the Kaleidos Mono Blush in the shade Dreamwalk. I picked this shade because it is the only shade of this tone that I have, and it has been a pretty big trend in the past year. I'm definitely late to the trend because I have heard that it's going away and we're switching to peach blushes now. I don't know, but I wanted to try it on me, and I know how trends work. It will come back and I'll probably still have my powder blush then. At this point I haven't tried it yet, so I don't have any opinions, but I think I'll film a video of me talking about something and getting ready using my new Kaleidos stuff. My next powder blush is also my most expensive one, and is the RMS Beauty Redimension Hydra Powder Blush in the shade French Rosé. I definitely bought it influenced by the beautiful photos of the blushes themselves, as well as swatches that I have seen on Instagram. As you can probably tell, I'm quite easy to influence, and I definitely want to try out everything that's trendy. I don't necessarily immediately assume that it will be good just because people like it. I just want to also have an opinion and know what I think about the thing. With this blush in particular, I haven't tried it on my face yet, but just looking at it in the pan, swatching it, I think I will enjoy it, and I don't regret getting it. It feels sturdy, the blush is big, there's a lot of it. So I'm very curious to try out the formula, I'm curious to see it on my face, but yeah, I've been influenced to try this. My next powder blush is, again, something I tried based on a recommendation. It's also another indie blush that I have, and it's from the brand Oden's Eye. It's their Alva Fruit Blusher in the shade Ripe Papaya. I think Oden's Eye has the most beautiful packaging ever, so if you ever get something from them, you will be amazed. The packaging looks definitely like pieces of art just in themselves. I'm pretty sure I got this product in this shade in a mystery box that I got from Oden's Eye in 2021. But yeah, it's a beautiful coral shade. It's perfect for every day, very much my style. I really like the formula, the shade, no complaints. Love it. Next blush in my collection, and I know I should speed up because I have a bunch of highlighters still waiting, is my only product from Morphe Brushes, and it's their Blush Trio in the shade Pop of Blush. It contains 3 shades of blush, one very nude one pinky one, and one kind of shimmery one, darker pink. I often reach for them when I'm doing my makeup at home, as opposed to traveling, because it's a palette, it's a bigger product, so I want to focus on using those bigger products when I'm at home. They're not super pigmented, but they work, they're fine. I don't love them, but they're okay. And I got it in 2018. I won it in a giveaway from an Instagram creator. Is 2018 too old? Should I get rid of it? Well, if 2018 is too old, let's look at the blush that I have since 2017. At least, that's the earliest I was able to find a photo of it. I'm also pretty sure that this product doesn't exist anymore. I have a mini of it, but I don't think either the mini nor the full size exists anymore. And it's the Too Faced Love Flush blush in the shade Love Hangover. And I really like this shade. I think it's quite unique in my collection. I don't think I have anything exactly like this. It doesn't show a lot of use because it's extremely pigmented. I am quite fair and this shade is not super light, so I really have to use a light hand when I'm using it. I am hoping to hit pan on it this year, but I haven't included it in my project pan yet, so we'll see how that goes. Another mini blush that I have is from Tarte, and it's their Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Captivating. The packaging really looks kind of crappy. It totally is a tester kind of packaging. It contains just 1 gram of product. It's very flimsy. I definitely can see it breaking. I really wanted to try Amazonian clay blushes from Tarte because of how famous they were and how many people used to talk about them. And I'm pretty sure this is a tester kind of sample vibe because I got it in a Christmas set together with, I think, a mascara. I still think even in a Christmas set it should have a way better packaging, but that's not the reason why I'm not using it. You can probably tell when I'm showing you a close-up of it that I didn't really use it too much, and I have it since 2022, and that is just because of the shade. It's not really my kind of shade. It's very peachy and warm, and I generally prefer more pinky, more berry kind of shades. I have a pink undertone to my skin, and those kinds of shades just look better on me. Next product I have is from Makeup by Mario, and it's their Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in the shade Barely Blushing. Same as with the bronzer, I haven't really used it too much, so I don't really have any opinions about it. It's definitely a balmy texture, but that's pretty much all I can say about it. It's a very nice shade, and I'm excited to try it out and learn it more. Then I have a few products from Rare Beauty. I have 2 minis of their liquid blush in the shade Happy and Joy. Shade Joy is more of a orangey, peachy shade, and shade Happy is more of a pinky shade. I got the shade Joy in 2022 and Happy in 2023. They are currently in my project pan, so if you want to see swatches of them, you can definitely go and watch that video. I'm happy to have these as minis because, as we know, Rare blushes go a long way, and I don't think I will run out of them very quickly. I think it would be a waste to have them in full size. I will be using them more now, and I will probably give you a more detailed opinion review kind of speech in my project pan update. Another blush that I have from Rare Beauty is a gift that I got from my best friend on my birthday in 2022. And it's the cream blush in the shade Nearly Mauve. I really love the packaging of it. I think it's super cute. It's also very small and easy to travel with. And I think my friend made a very good choice picking the shade for me. For a while it was my only cream blush. That's also why it got so much use. I kind of miss those days. I enjoyed having just one go-to product that really works for me. The shade really works for me too. And this is more or less the kind of blush shade that I like. So now that I touched it again, I want to use it more. So I'll see if I can incorporate it into my everyday makeup more. Next up is a liquid blush from the brand Glam Shop, and it's in the shade Positive Pink. Same as the bronzer, I really love the formula. I think it's a great competition for the Rare liquid blushes. It's less of a serum-y texture, it's more creamy. It's also pigmented, blendable, easy to use, and I really like the shade. I'm trying to move quick here, so let's go straight to the next one. And it's the Huda Beauty Cheeky Tint in the shade Coral Cutie. I got it in my Cold Beauty advent calendar, It's not necessarily the kind of shade that I would normally go for. It's very coral, but I could see myself using it in the summer or when I'm going for more bronzy looks. It is very coral and bright though, so definitely a summer kind of shade for me, not every day throughout the year. The next products I want to talk about are from Charlotte Tilbury. I got them both in Christmas sets, and that is the Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush Wand in the shade Pillow Talk and Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pinkgasm. I'm really happy to have them in mini format. I really wanted to try out the formula without committing too much, and I just remember sitting there and calculating the price per gram, and it was worth it. The price for this was either the same as if I got it in the full size but like proportionally less, or I think it might have been even a little cheaper. In any case, I love having the opportunity to try them out. I already used Pinkgasm quite a lot and I really enjoyed it. I also used the Pillow Talk a few times and the formula is different. One is shimmery, one is matte, but I think I like both of them, so I'm happy to have them and happy to be able to try out such a famous formula. My last singular liquid blush is the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Soar. I got it when I was in UK last year, and I think I was interested in a different shade, although I don't remember which one. But I was there in person in store and the shade that I wanted was not available, so I got the closest one, and it was the shade Soar. It is a pretty bright pink. It is indeed quite bright on me, but I really liked every time that I used it, so I'm happy to have it. I don't think I tried it enough yet to have proper opinions, which again, the reason why is because I have too much product, and that is the reason why I'm doing a no by year and project panning. So I am hoping to get more use of it this year. I will try to prioritize all of my products at least at some point throughout the year. We'll see how that goes. I'm happy to have it. I also got it because of its famous name. Yeah, I'll move on now. My next product is another little mini duo from Natasha Denona, and this time it's the Rose Cheek Duo. I don't think it has a shade, but it's a mini cream blush and highlighter. As you can see, I have used mine quite a lot. I really like it. I mean, it's quite obvious by how much I used it, but this is my go-to product whenever I'm traveling. Both of the shades work very well. It also works as an inner corner and brow bone highlight, and I feel like not every liquid or cream highlighter does that. It's one of my favorite things in my collection. Last but not least, including a full palette. And that is my Natasha Denona Glam Face palette. Mine is in the shade Light. I got it just last year on a recommendation from Teresa on Instagram. I was looking at this palette for many times before saying that comment, so I really didn't need a lot of encouragement, but I remember seeing it and thinking, okay, this is the Black Friday sale before my no by year. This is the time, and I got it. My reasons to not get it before was that it's a big palette and I wouldn't travel with it necessarily. I prefer my other Natasha Denona palette because it's way smaller. But I will say the eyeshadows in this palette are absolutely amazing. I love them. I am a huge fan of Natasha Denona eyeshadow formula, especially the matte formula. I think it's one of my favorite matte formula that I own in my collection. But we're not here to talk about eyeshadows. The blush and the highlight are both amazing. The blush is in a cream formula and it's a more thick, drier formula. And then the highlighter is a powder formula, but it's very glowy, very blinding, without looking fake. It like makes your cheek just glow. So I'm a huge fan and I'm super happy that I got this. Moving on to highlighters now, and I will really try to speed through it because this is my biggest category. I think at the moment I have around like 28, that including the products that I've already mentioned. But either way, it's way too many for one face. I'll start with the most unique product that I have, and that is my Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb in the shade How Many Carats. It's a product that I don't really use as a highlighter on its own. I use it as a topper on my delicate highlighters. In general, I think it's the most unique product of this sort that I have. It's not really a shiny formula, it's more a gel with light sparkle suspended in it. So when I apply it on the cheek, it doesn't really have any shade that is applied. It's basically translucent, and then there's just those white sparkles. I am also project panning it, so it should be done soon. And I think I will miss it, but it's also very old. I got it in August of 2020, so it definitely has to go. Since I already mentioned it, I'll just talk about it. My Rare Beauty Liquid Luminizer in the shade Mesmerize. Again, I got it in one of the mini sets, and I'm happy that I have a mini and not the full size, because I'm not really crazy about it. It is shiny, it is nice, it's very natural, I find, which is not what I expected. I thought, based on Rare Beauty's reputation, I thought it would be very extreme and blinding. I find it to be not shiny enough to be a highlighter on its own, which is why I will be topping it with the Fenty Beauty one, but also too shiny to be a base under my makeup, like my Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, or the Say Super Gel. So this is also in my project pan, and it is more than halfway done, so I am expecting to see it gone pretty soon. My next product is my last product from my Glam Shop trio, and it's my liquid highlighter in the shade Champagne 0%. It is a liquid highlighter. It's the more sparkly of the two that they have. I think they have one more that is way more just glowy and natural. Of course, I picked the one that is sparkly, and it's definitely more shimmery, sparkly, glittery. It feels like liquid glitter a little. As a cheek product, I think I like it the least of my 3 Glam Shop products, just because the formula is more thick because of how glittery it is. It's not as creamy as the other ones, but it's still pretty, and it's just a bit harder to use. So I think when I figure out how I like to use it, it will be a very nice product. I just need to put some more effort in it. My last cream highlighter is from Charlotte Tilbury, and it's their Beauty Light Wand in the shade Spotlight. I really wanted to try this product for a while. I think I've been hearing about it since many years, and I was very curious. So finally I got it in the mini format, and I like it so far. I am not crazy about it, but I also haven't used it enough to really know what I think. For my powder highlighters, I divided them into more natural category and then colorful iridescent category. And obviously I already covered some of my highlighters when they were together with some other products, but I have more. I think I'll start with some of the latest additions to my collection, and the first one will be from the brand Heen, so the same brand as the face contour palette that I talked about before. And this is the product that I was inspired to get because of how much I loved that highlighter formula. And this is their Starlight's Glow Highlighter, and mine is in the shade 01 Pearl Glow. The packaging is quite beautiful, and there's definitely a lot of highlighter in it. It contains 6 grams. I got it in December of last year. Staying in the drugstore realm, my next product is from Catrice, and it's their More Than Glow highlighter in the shade Supreme Rose Beam. I don't know if you can see on my close-up, but it has a pan hit on it, and I will say this is probably one of my favorite highlighters that I have in my collection. It's very affordable, it's glowy, the shade is rosy and not very yellow gold, which is just perfect for me. And recently I found out that if you're wanting to try the Rare Beauty Mesmerize highlighter, apparently it's a dupe. I actually can compare in a second because I have that one as well. But in general, even if you're not interested in that one, I think this one is really worth trying out. And I'll use that as a segue to talk about my Rare Beauty highlighter, also my last year's addition to my collection, and it's highlighter in the shade Mesmerize, as I mentioned. I got it on a recommendation from a fellow creator on Instagram, Color Exposure. I can tag her as well. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's very glowy, very shiny, quite intense. And again, it's not that yellow neutral kind of shade. It has a pink undertone, which for me personally, that is perfect. And I think I'll compare now. I can immediately feel that the Catrice highlighter is more thicker in texture. It has more body to it. Meanwhile, the Rare Beauty one feels baked. It feels more light, and I think it's glistening a bit more. They're both quite intense, and they both have a similar shade. This is the Rare Beauty one, and this is the Catrice one. I think you can even tell on my fingers how they are pretty much the same shade, but slightly different formula. I think I agree that if you want to get the Rare Beauty Mesmerize highlighter, but for whatever reason you don't want to get it, the Catrice one is definitely a good option. I mean, in general, I think it's an amazing highlighter, so it's not a miss, you will love it. But yeah, I think both of them are really beautiful and I really like both of them. Next one is also my last December or November addition to my collection. And for whatever reason, I felt like that was my Christmas gift to myself, even though I got myself like a bunch of them already. But it's the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter in the shade Fair. And this is what it looks like, and it's a neutral highlighter, champagne kind of shade. I think shade-wise I do prefer the Catrice and Rare Beauty one, but this is definitely the most intense highlighter that I own. They were not kidding when they named it Super Glow. I think it's also really easy to pick up with a brush, which just adds to the intensity and makes it look even more intense on my cheeks. So if you are into a super glowy face, I definitely recommend it. Another super glowy highlighter that I have is actually from Makeup Revolution, or their I Love Revolution sub-brand. In any case, it's their Rose Gold Glow highlighter. It looks like little chocolate, and on the inside it has two highlighters. The lighter one is more pinky, champagne. It's more of the Mesmerize or Catrice Rose highlighter kind of shade. And the other one is more gold. This is one of the few PR things that I have in my collection. I received it in June of 2018 from Makeup Revolution. I really like this highlighter specifically because of this shade. I think I'm finding that this is the kind of shades that I like. Plus this one is quite intense. It's a pretty strong highlighter. And then this one is more yellow, more natural, and mixed together they also look very nice. Some more very old products that I have are my two Becca mini highlighters. The one that doesn't have the text on the packaging is in the shade Opal, and I got it in October of 2017. This one is in the shade C-Pop, and I got it in 2021. So it's Becca Shimmer and Skin Perfector pressed in the shade Opal on the right and C-Pop on the left. I definitely use the shade Opal way more, mainly because it's way older. And it was broken a few times too. I had to repress it. It is a bit dark for me though, so it's a bit difficult to use. So most of the time when I was using it, it was either in the summer all over my cheek instead of just highlighting, or as an eyeshadow. And for the shade C-Pop, I got it I think around the time when Becca was being discontinued. And I just really wanted to have the famous shade that Jaclyn Hill created. So I got it. It's also not perfectly my shade. At that time, I didn't know yet that I preferred the more pinky shades. I think it's more visible on my skin than something more pink. But it is a beautiful shade, and I don't know why I'm not using it more. I definitely should, especially the opal shade that I would like to finish and get rid of. My next product is also one of the PR products that I have received in the past. It was also around 2018, I don't remember when exactly, but I remember receiving a package with a lot of single products, mainly eyeshadows, but also some cheek products from, back then it was Freedom Makeup, I think. I'm pretty sure it was absorbed by Makeup Revolution Pro brand later. I wasn't really following, so I can't give you the history of the brand, but I'm pretty sure back then it was Freedom Makeup. It is called the Pro Artist Light HD Light 2 in the shade Bad Habit. And this is a beautiful shade of highlight. I think I'm not using it as much because it's a single. So it's usually stuck in one of my magnetic palettes that I don't reach for as much. It is also quite a thick formula. It's not a sheer glowy product. It's something that you can pack too much of and then you'll have a visible metallic streak on your face. I definitely tried it in the past, but I don't really remember how it is. And this year I would like to make sure that I do try things that I have and hopefully can have an opinion and make a decision on how I want to move forward with them, especially with those older products. Even if I'm deciding to keep everything, I want to make that conscious decision. My next product is probably one of the oldest products that I own, and it was a birthday gift from me to me in 2017. It's the Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Soft and Gentle. I don't think I need to explain anymore why I have it. I think at this point we know that it was famous, many people talked about it, and I wanted to try it. I feel like that's the standard for a lot of the products that I have. Mine looks like this. I already hit pan on it. I used it a lot. I really like it. I think it's a very beautiful product. I definitely would see myself purchasing it again if I had no highlighters at all. Obviously, with the size of my collection now, there's no way I will do that. I think the glow it gives is very beautiful, and I definitely see why it was so famous. Now that we've went through all of my natural highlighters, we're gonna talk about some colorful ones that I have. There is a lot of product in that collection, but I think we'll go through it faster because I have just 3 brands there, and I will just group them together. The first one is my only one product from the brand, and it's the Oden's Eye Norns Mesmerizer in the shade Web of Destiny. As mentioned earlier with Oden's Eye, even just the packaging is worth just having as a piece of art. It's absolutely stunning. I'm pretty sure this product is discontinued now. I don't think you can get it anymore, and I think I can see why. It's kind of a marble texture. It has some whiter parts, some gold webbing, and also some pink glittery stones in it. And while it looks absolutely beautiful in the packaging, I think when I try to swatch it or use it on my face, it just comes off very glittery. It leaves chunks of golden pink glitters on my face. I find that pink highlighters, especially like baby pink highlighters, can definitely work for every day with specific looks, at least for me. I can make pink highlighters work for every day, but I think I found that the way the sparkle spreads out on the cheek with this one is not really something that makes me want to grab it again and again. I think even when I want to have a pink highlighter, I just reach for a different one. My next little group of products is from KVD, and it's their Metal Crush highlighters. One is in the shade Gold School and the other one is in the shade Gamma Ray. Gold School is a white highlighter with a yellow shift to it, and then Gamma Ray is more peachy, pinky, rose goldy kind of highlighter. I'm pretty sure they're both discontinued now, and I'm also pretty sure I got them both on a pretty huge discount because of it. I got them in 2021 and I was absolutely mesmerized by how beautiful they looked in the store. And I still think they look beautiful. I love the packaging. I think the packaging is beautiful. The shades are beautiful. In general, the products are very, very pretty. The thing with them is that I haven't used them almost at all. I don't really know why. And it's kind of sad because even though I got them on a discount, I still spent my money on them. And ever since 2021, they have been just sitting on my shelf. They moved apartments with me without me really touching them. I wish I knew the reason why so that it can help me make smarter purchases in the future. I will think about it, and if I come to any conclusions, I will let you know. They always kind of bring me joy when I look at them though. So I guess that's something. And the last category for my colorful highlighters is the biggest one, and it's my Kaleidos highlighters. I think their Space Age highlighters are their signature products that everyone knows about. At least that's how I feel. And I have all of them. I got 7 of them in December of 2021, so they're a bit older now. And then I got the newest one with my last order that arrived this year. So I will quickly go through all of the shades that I have. All in all, I will just say that I really like all of them. I think they're my go-to colorful, iridescent, or multi-chrome highlighters. I really like the formula. I think it's great. The packaging is beautiful, and I really, really enjoy these. I'll start with my top favorite one, and that is the Space Age highlighter in the shade Skywalker, and it's just a blue iridescent highlighter. I think the reason why I like it so much is because I find that a lot of the blue iridescent highlighters don't actually look blue to me. A lot of them look kind of purple. They're like pinkish. And this one is the proper baby blue kind of highlighter. I find it to be very unique. The formula is beautiful. It's glowy, sparkly, shiny, amazing. It's my favorite one. The next one is Moon Cruiser, and that is exactly the purplish one that I was thinking of when I was talking about the Skywalker one. I think I saw some people describe it as blue, and I mean the packaging is blue. It's a duochrome shade, shifting from blue through purple to pink. And don't get me wrong, it's an absolutely beautiful shade. You just have to be aware of what it is, and that is not blue. The next one is the shade Ray Rider. That's a champagne one. I definitely could include it in the natural category, but I didn't want to separate it from all of its family. I think I use it almost the least just because it doesn't have that specialness to it. It is just a champagne highlighter, so very often I just reach for a different one. But that being said, it's still has a very nice formula. It's still a very nice highlighter. I would say it's more delicate than a lot of other champagne natural kind of highlighters that I have. I would maybe categorize it with the Soft and Gentle MAC highlighter. The next one is Solar Sailor, and this one is a bright yellow iridescent shade. It's kind of shifty between a warm yellow, kind of mustardy shade, all the way towards very bright neon yellow. And I think because of my pinky undertone and my skin tone, I don't tend to reach for it. Nonetheless, it is a beautiful shade, and I think that if I was going for a makeup look that requires a yellow, I would definitely reach for this one. Next one is Star Surfer, and this one I would also categorize as a more natural one. It is natural, but it's pink. Not in the way like the Catrice and Rare Beauty one though, it's actually pink. It's not a super intense shade, but it's definitely a visible baby pink. It has little glistens and sparkles to it. It's a beautiful shade. I also really like it. Next one is actually the shade that I reached the least for, and it's Mars Melter. I think you might be able to tell why I reach for it the least just by seeing the close-up, and it's just that it looks super dark in the pan. And even though I know that it's not actually this dark on the cheeks, I am actually wearing it today as my highlighter, and it definitely doesn't look dark. Because when I open it and I see this, it kind of intimidates me. It makes me use it way less. So despite looking so dark in the pan, it definitely has still a translucent base, similar to a lot of these, and it has kind of a peachy, corally shift. The next one is probably the second most used one that I have. Second or first, it's really a close tie between this one and Skywalker, and it's the shade Prophecy. It's their first multi-chrome highlighter. I think it has the smoothest texture of all of them. It feels the most lightweight, but it's also the most intense in a way because it's multi-chrome. It shifts between yellow, green, and peach, and you definitely can see all of those shades depending on the angle that the light hits your face. And then the last Space Age highlighter that I have, it's the Space Age highlighter in Gifted. That's the latest release from the brand, the newest addition to their collection as well, and it's also multi-chrome. It feels very similar to the Prophecy highlighter in formula, so also very smooth, but also very intense and multi-chromy. And they have a similar vibe. They both shift to the same shade of green and I think yellow, but while Prophecy shifts to peach, more orangey kind of shade, Gifted shifts to a very intense shade of pink or even purple. I personally love both of these shades and I'm super happy to have them both, but I definitely don't think that you need both of them. I don't know if you can tell the difference or even see the shift in here. I definitely don't have the best light setup to show off multi-chrome shadows. With that being said, we have gone through my entire cheek collection. I don't know if it was more or less than you expected, but I do think that it's a lot and way too much. I don't want to throw away anything that I have, but I definitely don't want to add anything, and I want to use up some of the things by the end of this year. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was interesting to have a little peek into my collection and see what I have and hear a little of what I think about it. Let me know if you're interested in seeing any of the mentioned products in any other videos, if you want to hear my opinions about them, or if you want to see me use them. I will gladly take any recommendations. But other than that, if you like this video, please give it a like. Please leave a comment. If you don't know what to comment, let me know what is your oldest cheek product in your collection. I'm very curious to know about that. When did you get it? How old it is? Do you have anything that is older than the things that I have? If you're interested in content around no-buy-year, project panning, minimizing makeup collections, conscious consumerism, please subscribe. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye. And my hand is very shiny.